how are you? It's Sylvia Klinger here. I got a great recipe for you guys. So let's get started. I have received a wonderful gift from my friends at General Mills, our partners, and I'm going to make a recipe using Fiber One, which is a cereal that I love. And for just a few cents, you can have a nutrition cereal meal in the morning, filled with not only whole grain, but also you get as well as dietary fiber, 18 grams. Wow, that's mighty fiber. 18 grams of fiber for 2/3 cups, which is one serving. You also get some iron, you get some folate, you get some vitamin B12, you get a little bit of magnesium, some zinc. It is got great nutrients, and nutrients, especially like fiber, which are very hard to get at any other meal. So thank you, General Mills, for providing this, and a cereal that I love and I use a lot. I like that it comes in these bags, these two bags. So I already opened one up. It comes in these bags that are, I think that's a genius idea, so that it stays nice and fresh. Okay. In case you want to, want a variety of cereals, you want to have another one, you can have, they stay nice and fresh. I also got this loaf of bread. So today we're going to make French toast. And this is a very simple recipe. And I believe it was made by one of my great friends, Lauren Harris Pincus. So Lauren, if you're watching, thank you for providing us this recipe. And the recipe is really easy. And you can even boost it up by adding some other toppings that I'm going to talk about later. But first, let's get started with this. My little skillet thing here did not work really well, so I got my behind me. I got the stove, and I already turned it on. I always like to do things in the stove in low because you can always go higher if you want, but it's nice to start nice and slow. So I already made some French toast earlier this morning because my family needed to get out a little bit. So just my mom and I now, and we're gonna go ahead and eat what I make. So you can either use a spray to spray your pan, or I also put a little bit of vegetable oil in this little beautiful little thing that I like little things like this. And I might put a tiny little, a few drops of oil in the pan. So you can do that if, I'm a minimalist. So I like to use what I have in hand without buying extra things. So I have a little bit of oil that I put in my pan, and it's nicely seasoned already. Like I say, because I make sure the pan is well covered. So anyways, then what I'm going to do, I am going to, the recipe coats the breads with the Fiber One cereal. So it is, I believe, 2/3 cups of Fiber One. You can do more if you want. So I usually, you crush it just a little bit. So I like to put it in a little baggie. And then either with a mullet or the bag, like I said, I just received this the other day. Um, I've been wanting to have one to crush herbs, so I finally got a mullet. So this is really nice. So you can use a mullet or just simply the back of a cup, too, as well. Even like I can even use this to crush it. So I just want to crush it very lightly, okay? And you can crush it in a bowl, but I like to do it in a little bag and crush the cereal just a little bit, okay? So we'll crush it a little bit so that we have a little bit of the identity of the cereal. Okay. All right. I think that's looking pretty good. You can always use a blender too to do it a little bit as well. So I don't want to pulverize, but I do want to crush some of it. It's a mighty cereal. It's full of fiber. All right, so I think we have pretty good there. Then the next is to make the just the liquid that's we're gonna submerge the French toast. So the recipe calls for 1 egg and 1 egg white. You can always use all egg whites too, which I do that all the time. You can either buy the egg whites already or simply, do it. Like I said, I like to use what I have in hand. So I'm going to use egg whites from the egg, from a fresh egg here. And I like to, I usually do, I have this little thing here that a long time ago somebody gave me because I know I love to cook. So I'm going to toss these things in the sink there. Another little piece that went here. And then I'm going to put the egg yolk in another container here. Make sure I get it all. Put the egg yolk here so I can eat it at another time, use it for something else. And I'm going to put this in my sink. Wash my hands a little bit here. Okay. All right. So then the recipe also calls for, so 1 egg, 1 egg white, and I'm going to whisk it. You can whisk it with something like this or with a fork. A fork works just as fine. All right. We got so used to getting all these kitchen supplies, but I think this is a great compromise to use 1 egg and an egg white. Great idea. But like I say, you can use all egg whites too. Like I do many times when I do French toast or other baked goods too. All right, so I got that mix, and then I have here what is it? 1/3 cup of milk. It says 1% milk, the recipe. I'm using skim milk because that's all I have at home. I have only used skim milk. But if you have 2%, 1%, 1% is has less fat. So those that want to wash the fat and saturated fat, that's a great choice to go to 1%, from 2% or 1% or even skim milk, okay? All right, so we have now the liquid here with the milk and the eggs. Nice frothy here. I always like to do this because it makes, I feel like I'm exercising my arm. And then I have in here, I'm gonna put this one aside, the egg yolk. I have some cinnamon and some vanilla. You can always use almond extract, a little bit of ginger. You could get creative with flavors. I am Latina, so I love flavors. So I got, the half a teaspoon of, this is a half a teaspoon of vanilla and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I definitely like to do that. And sometimes even when I'm putting them in the skillet, I might add a little bit more cinnamon just because cinnamon is a flavor that we love to have. So half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of vanilla is great. And I see that it has plenty of, a nice amount of cinnamon. So I might not even have to add any at the when I'm in the skillet, okay? So once we have this, make sure I get all the cinnamon from the side of the bowl. I like to use a bowl like this that is a little bit flat. And this way, my French toast, fits really nicely, okay? So I'm gonna get also, I have a plate here so that I can put the crunchies from Fiverr One, and then I can roll my bread in there, okay? I'm gonna put the cereal in there, and I'm gonna roll, okay? I'm gonna roll it all. I'm gonna leave a little bit here, and I'll add more because my plate is not big enough. So I'm gonna take a slice of bread, and this is like a country white, but you can do whatever bread you have at home. Whether, if you have whole grain, it's great. But remember, in this time, you can use a little bit of these. You can use the country white because you got plenty of fiber from the Fiverr One. All right. So I'm gonna put it in here. Usually with the fork, I go around, and then we're gonna put it into the Fiverr One, and it's sticking really nicely. I might do this too. All right. And then I'm going to transfer these into my skillet. Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. And like I said, you might want to even put a little bit more of the crunchies, as I call it, my crunchies on top, and maybe a little bit more cinnamon. So let me get some cinnamon here. I like to buy things in bulk. Look at how much cinnamon we love to use at home. So I like to buy it in bulk. It's a little less expensive. So I always put a little bit more cinnamon on top just to give it a little more flavor. Here in my household, flavor is king. So I'm gonna, with the spatula, I'm going to flip it in a little bit. Okay, flip it in here. It's looking really fun. This is a really fun recipe with the fiber one. It's a fun way, I think, to get the kids to eat more fiber, aside from just cereal with milk. But I'm going to show you also how to really and I have a plate here where we can put our French toast, and then we're gonna garnish it. And because I think, half of the fun of really making a recipe is actually trying to make it really pretty as well and attractive. I mean, you don't have to be like a chef and make like all these basic garnishes. No, I'm going to show you how to do really simple garnishes that add more nutrition, okay, with fruits and yogurt and other things. So I'm going to flip this one more time, and I think sometimes I put them in the oven for a little bit while everybody's waking up. I put my stack in the oven on a very low temperature, like 150, very low temperature. I put them in the oven. I cover them with a little foil paper. And then when everybody wakes up, then we're ready to eat the French toast, because I like to wake up real early. So here we have one. Okay, so let's do another one. This is looking really good. I like how they, so let's make one more. All right. And you are welcome to come to my house to eat breakfast. Since everybody was this morning like, Mom, and my husband, everybody's like, we want French toast. So I got up real early and I made some for them. So here is another one. We're gonna put it in here. And like I said, this is a fun way to add more fiber into something that the family absolutely loves. Okay. So like I said, I have my stove at number 2, very low temperature. I don't like to burn things. Okay. And we can put a little bit of the cinnamon into the a little bit more cinnamon into the toast as well, because I like it cinnamony. All right. This is here cooking a little bit. I want to say hi to some of you. Here I see Beto. Hi, Beto. What's so wonderful. Gabi, all the way from Slovakia. And Niva. Oh my God, Niva, you are the greatest. Thank you for joining us in here. I love you guys for joining. Thank you, Niva. Thank you, Niva. We tried our best, isn't it? We tried our best to be great moms as best as we can, good wives, you name it. So here is my next one. I'm gonna turn these off for a little bit here, and then I'm going to try to garnish. I made a little mess here, but that's okay. It's the morning breakfast crew. I'm gonna make more, of course, because my mom is anxiously waiting for these wonderful French toast. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how to make it even more nutritious. I love using canned products, and canned peaches, canned pears. It's a way to really use products that are full of nutrition. At the same time, you can enjoy peaches all year long. I don't have any peaches in my freezer. We ate them all from the summer, but I have canned peaches. And I'm going to add some of these to our wonderful, I'm going to even serve it on the side, I think was what I'm going to do. I'm going to serve these peaches on this. I'm going to put some peaches, and I'm going to put also some bananas, okay? put a couple of peaches in there. I'm gonna put some bananas, and bananas is just like, everybody has bananas at home. At least we never go out of bananas. So I like to put a little bit of banana and just use whatever you have at home. I have some canned peaches, so I thought I'd use them. I don't have any berries today. We ate them all yesterday, but I have some peaches and I have some bananas. So I thought, what a great way to entice the family and encourage more fruits and vegetables, more fiber, and something so delicious. Oh, yeah. So here is some bananas. And then guess what? You can even top it up with some yogurt for an extra boost of calcium and vitamin D here. All right. I love yogurt. So I have some vanilla yogurt here. And I'm just going to put a little dollop. How beautiful is that, huh? And then one for me. All right. So here you have French toast, canned peaches, bananas, and a dollop of yogurt. And you can even put more yogurt. You can put a little bit of syrup also if you want, a low sugar syrup. And there you have it. But for me, I can even sometimes add peanut butter as well to my French toast, a dollop of peanut butter too. So, the options are endless, but know that you're having here a great breakfast with fruit, a little bit of, some calcium, and you have the great fiber coming from Fiber One. So thank you, my friends, for joining me, and bon appetit. Let's see. I think this is going to be marvelous. Delicious. I'm going to come around, say hi. Oh, Neva, your husband loves Fiber One too. With banana bread. Oh my, I gotta make that. Banana bread with Fiber One. The recipe's on the box, she said. The recipe's on the box. Oh, yes. Oh, and they have tasty muffins too. Which I'm sure you can make this. It makes into a banana bread too. So this is tasty brand muffins as well. It's on the box. There's lots of recipes that they have. And this week they have the brand muffins, but there's also Neva is telling us that they also have a great banana recipe with Fiber One. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's one of our favorites, the banana bread. All right, friends. Well, thank you for joining me. Love that you can join me in this wonderful the French toast with Fiber One and fruit and yogurt. Delicious. I'm gonna continue eating here. Where's my fork? Oh, I'm gonna continue eating here while I say goodbye to all of you. I love y'all.